Oh, yeah, wow.
Got milk.
Oh.
So I recently moved on to live on a dairy farm. My girlfriend's family is they're dairy farmers, and then I decided to live with them for a little bit while my girlfriend's in Honduras. So I'm working on the farm, so it's kind of a new thing. And actually, yesterday was the my 1 year anniversary, the first time I milked. So it's kind of
Oh.
So I just want to tell you guys, you guys get your milk from, I went to Meijer and got this morning, but where does it actually come from, and how does it come, just not in the store, but where it actually, starts. So obviously it comes from a cow. So it starts off, and this is kind of the chart in our office. So the blue right here is like post, birth. So obviously they're giving milk for us then, and then red is when they're still giving milk, but it's time to like rebreed them, get them, pregnant again, so they're, giving us more milk production. And then green is, when they are pregnant. So obviously you can kind of see where have less and less of those, and more people that are, or more cows, excuse me, not people, but more cows that are have just recently given birth. They're, still giving us milk. And then yellow is right before they're pregnant, we dry them, or I'm sorry, right before they give birth, we dry them up so that we can move them, out of the parlor into a different place. So, we don't have to worry about milking them, and then they can focus on, giving birth, because it's a stressful time for them, and that's for people as well. So once they are born, so right here, there's a couple that are, getting close. So then once they're born, if they're yellow, or if they're a girl, I'm sorry, they're going to be yellow. So each one's given a number, and then the name is, of their dad. So we don't actually like breed them like full on, but there's different ways you can do it now. And then green is if they're a bull. So we have a couple bulls, but they're just in there for meat that our family takes and eats. But the green, we usually, for the majority, we ship them off to somewhere else where they are raised for other purposes. So here's a picture of a couple of newborns. So this one, he was born, what's today, the 19th, so 3 days ago. And then this guy was born 2 days ago. So they're pretty cute. So yeah, obviously, I just want to show a quick video if that's okay. So I just fed them, so they were looking crazy. But. So for the first week or so, they're in, kind of the actual barn, right next to their mothers, but we don't leave them with their mothers very long because, just because of the way it is, they can get diseases more by sitting in the manure. So we try to get them to a better, dry, clean bed. So then after, typically want to give them as fast as they can into one of these huts over here, but we, sometimes it always doesn't happen, and we need coats for them because obviously it's pretty cold out, so we don't want them to freeze. So, and then each section is a different age. So on the left, these guys were born in February, so, this month, and then they there's a big couple sections in here, but then right now we have just these guys that are born in January, and then just this guy right here, as I took the picture, jumped out at me, so I had to get him back in. It's kind of funny. And then he just looked cute, so I took a picture of him too. And then, so this is it's just pretty close to that proximity, so that they're moving forward in age. So December, November, October, and as they get older, obviously they're getting bigger, so they get bigger places. So now this is their Kwanzas. So there's 4 of them, obviously, so different months for each one. And then, they're moving forward until this last one. And then I couldn't get a picture of it because all the cows were laying in bed because we moved their feet around so that they're, moving and not just doing nothing. So way back here is where they're back there. And then once they're back there, it's like 14 months. Once they get that age, then we move them into here, which is our heifer barn, where this is like right before they get bred, and then we know when they're gonna get bred is, you know, they're kind of jumpy around, or you know, we see that you know their age is where we should typically breed them. So then we kind of corral them over into this place where we actually do breed them with a, you know, it's kind of a stick kind of thing. I don't know, that's kind of nasty, I don't do it. So, and then once they're actually, so for heifers, so once they're pregnant for the first time, they don't even go into the milk production place, they just move straight over into the place, which is just outside of this place right here, So just outside that is where all of our heifers stay, or people like that, or cows like that, excuse me. And then once they're, you know, give birth, then they move into the actual, you know, our big barn of where we hold them. So this side, there's 3 sections. There's one that's further out that way. So these guys are high producers. They give us the most milk, so yay for them. And then these guys are our mediums, and then the other guys are our lows. That's, I guess, why they're over on the other side. But as they move up, you know, typically a first-time heifer, we put them into the low group because we don't know what they're gonna do. But obviously, as we see them giving more milk, we can move them up, you know, as need to be. And that's typically just because of time when you're doing each group. You want, you know, to know if this one's gonna take longer. We don't want, you know, just a mix of all of them, and one's taking like forever, and you're waiting for like 5 minutes waiting for one of them just to finish. So then, actually milking them. So if a heifer was still moving up into this age, you know, they're called fresh cows, so they're the first time they're gonna get milked. So this is just the holding pen. We're waiting for all of them, you know, to get into the actual parlor. And then here's our, just the outside part of our parlor where you can see their heads. So, you know, we stand back in here. I'll have a picture in a second. But so we can have 8 on each side, so 16 in all, like milking all at once. And then, so here's actually where we stand with our milkers, and I'll kind of explain how this works in a second. I want to show a video of just a cow being a cow again, because I think they're funny. So he's just scratching his head on the post where I needed to get out, and he wouldn't move, so I had to physically grab his head and push him back. So he's, but I decided to get a video real quick. So then, how we actually milk, so it's not a typical bucket anymore. We actually have, you know, this thing right here where there's 4 suctions. So you put them on each thing right here. And then it goes, the milk, you know, travels up to here, down this black kind of cord. It's kind of hard to see with the grate right there. But then it goes, that black cord comes, you know, down through here and then into the pipes. And then the pipe moves up into our big holding tank. So that's where we got our milk from. So I guess to recap, what's gonna do this? To recap, you start as a newborn, and then you move up through your ages until you're pregnant for the first time, and then you give birth, and then you move into our parlor and you give milk for us, and that's where it moves on off the stores and into your home. So, thank you.
Cool.